Zach's writing stuff down. He looks official over there.
I got to come prepared. You guys, this is what y'all do.
Yeah, we make this up every week.
Every single week.
Yeah, it's good stuff, though.
I'm just waiting.
I wasn't going to bring notes until I saw everybody else had notes.
Oh, these are notes from 3 episodes ago. No. It just has the.
Glad I wrote all this stuff out.
It has the new website on it, the new email address, all that kind of stuff.
I was reading Fano's notes over there, and it was like, remember to smile. Don't look at the camera. That's what his notes are.
Nice. Nice.
Well, we're glad that you're back here with us. GPS to God, so glad. Daniel Sanders, Stefano Patterson, Ryan, the man Gotro.
I like it.
And Zach Edson. Really, I had to give you a nickname because I couldn't think of your last name for a second. Went blank there. Pitiful. It is very pitiful. But yeah, and first time ever new to us, we do have a live in-house producer right now. I don't know if we can make an announcement yet because I haven't gotten an official word, but you know who you are. We are very glad that you are here, and we hope to make a formal announcement on an episode very soon. So
that is a nice little carrot that you just dropped right there.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Good.
Let's see if we get some comments on
the
that.
old teaser.
Who is it?
Keep them coming back.
Yeah, send your guesses in. Let us know.
Yeah.
And do you know how you can send a guess in?
You waiting for someone to respond to you or us?
Well, I mean,
because no one's going to respond to you. No one hears you.
Well, you hear me.
Our new website.
GPSToGod.com. There it is. GPSToGod.com. Check that out. And maybe by the time this episode airs, you'll see the producer on there. Mystery solved. But
absolutely.
Right now, today, still a mystery. So GPSToGod.com. Please check that out. We're pretty happy with the website. We also have a new email address, mailroom@gpstogod.com. So you can email us there. You can drop us a line on the website. Contact us through there. Check out a bunch of cool stuff on there. And, let us know. You can make donations. We're going to have a newsletter one day. You can sign up for that and, give us topics, all that cool kind of stuff. So gpstogod.com. Check it out. So glad you stopped by here, stopped by there, stopped by everywhere.
Thank you for watching.
But, we've carried over a conversation from just before we started recording. Zach asked what all new equipment we have. We've upgraded some back-end stuff, and the answer to that is everything but the microphones.
Wow.
Everything is new. So we are learning all over, starting from the beginning. And, you guys might bring it up anyway. We kind of had a failure last week. We tried to record last week, and it imploded before it ever got started because new equipment and learning. And
we had a rehearsal.
Yeah, kind of. I don't even think it was a rehearsal. It was a don't burn the place down kind of deal. But, everything is new. So we hope to bring you something that sounds better and looks better. You're getting better or you're getting worse. We're trying to get better. So that's, that answers your question. Everything. Everything's new. So.
Lights.
Look at the lights back here.
Yeah, we
have lights.
We got backlight on the mural wall. I don't know what you would call that, accent wall. But got some backlight. Stefano is in charge of it. It's behind. There you go. There it is. There. He's playing with the remote control, changing the light color.
There's no red.
There is red
right there.
Okay.
But first thing he did, I said, "Fano, you're in charge of the lights. It's your new responsibility." And he changed it straight to green. You can put it on green, man. That's all right.
It's all right. We'll go with the Cowboys blue.
Ooh. No. Nobody here is a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
Nobody
talk me into it.
Boom.
If you don't know, if you happen to be new to the show, Stefano is an Eagles fan, Philadelphia Eagles. So big fan of the green. We got some merch behind us on the shelf.
Merch.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Merch. So, first thing, it took 2 seconds. It was on green.
I like the lights, man.
Yeah,
doing all this.
good.
This is nice.
It's coming along.
It's there.
It's getting closer. So speaking of merch, we'll go ahead. We got some merch here from Mr. Andrew Wiggins, basketball camp. So thank you very much for that special gift right there. And one day we're going to have him sign this. which means Zach is going to be taking one of us to a basketball game.
Right.
I think I know somebody that can get you in there.
But Andrew Wiggins had a basketball camp. Where was that camp, Zach?
Toronto. He did it for it was 2 days. Had about 200 kids. I mean, it was. I thought they did a great job. Like 9 to 2. So it was good. It was good.
That's a pretty long. I mean, that's a decent camp right there. 5 hours.
Got lunch included. But the Saturday day with they go like 9 years old to 12. They were done after lunch. It was done.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a charity camp kind of thing?
He doesn't charge, so it's free.
Okay,
But like the older kids on Sunday, they were all about it, right? I think they could have went for days. Just different level of competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check my notes here. I brought some notes in for us to discuss.
Nice.
Oh boy,
I got a suggestion from the suggestion box that I was.
You're man in the suggestion box?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not.
This suggestion box did not come from the website.
No,
it came from a former.
This is face to face.
Guest on the show.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Oh, are we talking about the same one? Russell?
I'm just assuming it's your wife. But
no.
Russell.
This is from Russell.
Oh.
You go ahead though. You go ahead.
This has nothing to do with. No.
You go. You good.
These are random topics of things I've heard. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. The suggestion was we'll go into this. So Russell and Amanda Mundy, friends of the show.
Absolutely.
They want a live call-in segment for the podcast.
I second that.
That's
awesome.
To which I said, that's because we do a lot of editing.
Yes.
Russell said, how much editing can you possibly do? So he was doubting edit, but I took up for you.
When we say a lot of editing, like we cut out, if I start to ramble or dead time, we're not cutting out relevant content.
Correct.
But we tighten it up for you listeners, for your listening enjoyment.
Right. Which he want. I guess his suggestion was he wants a live show, like a live show.
Like it is pre-recorded,
right?
But let the people interact as we record. I'm not against it.
There you go.
Here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Whose phone number are we giving out?
I mean, Russell made the suggestion. Seems pretty clear cut.
We'll have to see. We'll have to wait for his comment on this.
Mine was on the line for a while. Mine's off now. We're done with mine. I've done volunteered mine for a while.
That's going to be the kicker. Right
the suggestion.
I mean, we can
live call-in segment.
We can tell people when we record typically, and you can make time in your day to call in, and you're not going to know what we're talking about. It's a blind call in,
right?
But I'm fine with that.
That's why he wants it live, I guess.
But let's. I don't know whose number we're going to give out.
I'm just.
We can't.
Putting it out
I don't
there.
know that we can give out Russell's. Because he has a flip phone.
Very true.
And I don't know that we can
hook
him up to our technology.
Very limited.
So
yeah. Just putting it out. I'm
really.
You have all the ideas with the lights and all the fancy stuff and everything. I'm just the box.
This sounds like something I will pass along to our producer. I'm going to pass this along to our producer.
To be named in the future.
To be named in a future episode, yes. Yeah.
We don't want them running off already. Well, calm down some over there.
But the technology we have now, we can take phone calls easy. We got Bluetooth capability over there on the soundboard, so it's just
wow.
Here it is. Run the slider up, but I ain't giving out my number. I'll tell you that.
Is there not a way maybe we can use like an app or something?
I don't know. Probably would.
I don't know.
If enough people hit the donate button on the website, we'll just go buy a phone.
Just add a new line to the church.
Add a line. We have our own podcast phone number.
Just have our own cell phone for ready for this.
And
we just put some minutes on it.
Well, I think we'll just pass it around. Like phone? This week, you take the phone home with you, and you got to answer all the calls.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. There's got to be a time frame though. Don't be calling me at 2:00 in the morning.
Why
I'm not answering.
You're up.
I will be up.
He will be up soon.
Yeah. So this is the last episode.
I know.
Ryan's going to be on for a little while.
I'll be gone for a little bit.
Man, No one's more excited than me.
I'm the only one that's gotten a cake so far here.
We're tired of talking about
true.
this baby coming. I mean, it's been happening for like 3 episodes.
Go time.
It's like it's been around for like 9 months or
About
something.
to be go time, man.
Ryan hadn't brought it up once. It's been everybody else bringing it up.
I'm still trying to get into reality about this, so.
Yeah, it's about to be reality. About this time next week.
Right? Yeah.
You're gonna be missed, man.
Thank you. I
You'll be
appreciate
missed,
that.
man.
I'm gonna miss
sure.
being on here, so
For sure.
I'm gonna hurry up and get back.
He told me I can come visit him and the baby and his wife.
If you
And
bring
Dawn.
food.
One circumstance.
Right there.
It's a certain type of food, though.
He said Mexican pizza from Taco Bell. I got to bring that with me.
Oh, is that coming out? Is
Mexican
that next week? Is that
Bringing
next
it back.
Oh, it's
September 15th.
September
Yeah.
15th. Okay.
That's your one requirement.
Because the last time I only got, I think I got it twice, but I've tried like 5 different times, and every time they were always out.
It's
Y'all
unfortunate.
should have
Every time.
heard this argument between him and his wife,
It
Dawn,
was
last
great
week.
because she didn't know I went twice. She was like, "Hold on, you had twice?"
And how many times did she have it?
I think once.
Mm.
Did she have it once?
Go ahead, tell the truth, man.
No, I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
I don't know.
Zero.
She didn't have it at all.
0?
We went once and she didn't, and they didn't have
Wow.
it, so she didn't get it all.
Wow.
And
I
then-
got
so-
it twice, but I attempted 5.
But she didn't
I
know
was
about
determined.
the second time he got it. And
Yeah.
that was a great reveal, live and in person.
Yeah,
Sure
I
it
was like, I got
was.
it twice.
I'm sure it was.
Hard to back that up.
Backpedal for a second.
Yeah.
All right, so one of my random topics, since we're on the topic of food,
Yeah.
are Funyuns chips. Because me and a friend of mine disagree.
I mean,
On
they're
this.
they're on the chip aisle.
They're on the chip aisle. They can come in the little case of, little individual chip assortments.
I'm going to
But
say
are
yes.
Funyuns chips?
I would think with
so.
like bugles. I put them
Yeah.
in the same category.
If it goes in that variety pack, I label. If
With
it
all-
goes in
with-
that variety, just like you
with
said,
all
I
the
mean,
Eatos
if it goes in
family?
that, if it goes with those Fritos and those and your Lay's and your Doritos, I'd say it has to be a chip. I mean, what else can it be? I mean,
I think it is, but I don't know how to really back that up.
Y'all, all three are incorrect.
What?
That
A
is gonna be y'all
Funyun
all
is
idiots.
not a chip.
Because you're going to tell me it's not a potato?
comes
No,
in a chip
well,
bag.
Crackers come in the same kind of bag. Goldfish and
It's just onion powder.
graham cracker bites
Wow.
come in the
Extended
same
one.
kind of bag.
wow.
They all come in the same kind of bag.
If it's in a variety pack, and when you scan it, it says variety pack with the
Chip.
Nobody. No.
Zach's
no-
with me. Ron's with me too. He doesn't
Absolutely.
want to say
So
it.
Absolutely.
maybe
That's all
you're
we
just
buy.
wrong. If everybody
Yes.
else is on the other side, at some
Not
point,
everybody else. These 3 people and one other.
can we get just a
From the
random from the
producer.
producer
Yeah, can
what
we
she
get someone to
says?
call in?
Like, head yes, head no, are Funyuns chips?
It's the gospel.
Something is
Outnumbered.
What
All right,
what
here's
what
the-
do
here's
you
the
call
deal.
it, sir?
a Funyun.
But what I mean,
It's
a
a fun
Funyun.
onion.
It's a Funyun. There is no like. Here's my
Please.
legal argument. If you tell somebody bring me some chips, you have zero expectation of them bringing you Funyuns.
Well, how many people have Funyuns in their house? I mean, but like if I had a bag of Funyuns and I brought them to you when you asked for chips, you're going to look at me
No.
and say, no.
I didn't ask for Funyuns. I asked for chips.
I didn't bring you Chex Mix. I
How
brought
do
you chips.
You might as well
That's a
bring me
great-
Chex Mix
I mean,
because
that's
it's
a
the
great
same
point.
thing.
That's a great point. I mean, there's no argument.
He's
How do
proving
you
my point
how do you explain it being in the variety pack?
because no one would buy
So
them
is it-
otherwise. So they have
What
to
do you
put them
mean?
in there. No
So-
one would buy Funyuns.
So
Is
are
a
Fritos
Cheeto
a
Puff-
chip?
Is a Cheeto Puff a chip?
Oh, here we go. We're going
It's
down.
Cheetos. If I say bring
But
me,
Cheetos is just a brand. It's not. It's a chip. It's a brand of a
that's
chip.
not a chip.
That's so bad.
If
so
I say
bad.
bring me like if
Next time you come to my house, I'm buying Funyuns just for you. Just for
I like Funyuns, but they're not chips. Cheetos are not like if you say bring me some chips, and somebody brings you Cheetos, it's like these are Cheetos.
So
they're
when
not
you
chips.
say chips,
What are
you're
Fritos?
saying a
Fritos.
potato chip. So
Fritos aren't a
from
chip.
potato.
a chip, well, like what's Pringles? Pringles are not really chips, right?
oh no, come on.
Because like by their,
Dude,
but no, by
They're not in the variety pack
here.
though.
Here, listen, no,
This
no,
is the
no.
wrong category.
If Pringles will tell you we are not chips because they are formed like they take, but I consider those chips, right?
You do?
Why?
But they
can't.
cannot legally say they are a potato chip. Pringles can't. But
so if I put them up here and we take a poll for the audience and we say, here's you a can of Pringles, some Cheetos, and some Funyuns, and the poll is, what is your favorite chip?
It's Pringles. Because that's the only chip up there.
I don't know if people are going to see it that way.
That was a tangent. Okay, that was a tangent.
They're not going to see it that way. You can go ahead and say they're not going to.
But here's it like...
Let the people decide. We'll see if you're right.
People can decide.
Go ahead and call in.
Call in.
Go ahead and
call Ryan's number.
But if you say, bring me... I'll take some chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Barbecue flavor, plain flavor, sour cream and onion, all those are chips, right? It doesn't matter. Pringles, Lay's, whatever. But if you say, will you bring me some chips, and they bring you Funyuns, that's not chips.
But like Fritos has different flavors. They got barbecue. They got...
They do.
So that's
Fritos?
Yeah, Fritos.
Well, you say, I'll take
Fritos,
some
I believe,
chili cheese
says
Fritos.
chip on the package.
Well, that's great. It's not a chip.
Go ahead. It's not even.
So you're going against
real quick.
It's not even made out of potato. Since one of y'all threw that argument that it was a potato product. Fritos are. I think somebody said it. I don't want to call them out, but it was Ryan.
I'm going by the variety pack.
I didn't say anything about Fritos.
I like this.
I said
that was a nice random question there. I like that.
But
Cheeto Puffs.
Just know when you come to my house, I got nothing but Fritos and Funyuns.
Which I like them. But
and I'm going to say that's on my chips.
That's not chips. I'm going to say that's not chips.
Would you like a chip?
You got some
that's
Fritos and some Funyuns.
With onion powder on it?
So this is a Fritos package right here. And as you can see, it says Fritos brand, the original corn chips.
Not potato. Not potato.
But you didn't say potato
You didn't
chips.
say potato.
You said potato.
I know.
You said it had to be made out of potato.
I asked you, does it have to be for you? If you're saying chips, does that mean that it's potato chips?
No, because there's like apple chips. There's all types of chips.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. What categories you as a chip? Not edible. I mean, they're
if you're talking about potato chips.
I hope you have a whole list of these topics right here.
I don't.
Okay. Funyuns does say onion flavored rings.
I like it.
We were just on food. That was a food topic, but I think Funyuns are not chips. There you go. Everybody else is wrong. It's 4-1 today.
You have your
This
opinion.
is where the live calling could help me out right here.
I don't think it's going to help you out.
No.
I think it's going to be worse.
Crush you.
Well, go ahead and people, write in mailroom@gpstoguide.com and help a brother out. 'Cause I'm surrounded here. You guys ever seen that meme? Don't argue. It's got a picture of what's the dude that wrote Huckleberry Finn?
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain is like a picture of Mark Twain, and he said, I don't know if this is a real quote by him or not, but you're gonna
go with it.
Attribute that it is because the internet is true. He says, "Don't argue with stupid people. They drag you down to their level and beat you with experience."
It beat you with experience.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he did not say that.
I think he was kind of snarky like that. In the made-up TV shows I've seen him on.
That's a good topic. I like that one.
Yeah. Got some trivia. Trivia is not like what is it like when a new word or phrase, current event, like a current event kind of thing.
What's trending?
Yeah, what's trending? See if I say that's all cap, what does that mean? Do you know what you work with high school kids?
Well,
so
no,
I
only do because of my nephew's Brett and Reese. So I didn't probably maybe two months ago.
I just learned this
2 months ago.
within the
Does it
last
mean like
week.
fact, like 100%?
So if Ryan says Funyuns are chips, I'll say that's all cap.
Like that's a lie? So you're lying?
That's a lie.
Okay.
All cap or no cap.
No cap.
No
Okay.
cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No cap means that's the truth.
Where did that? I'm trying to think of where that came from. Like, what is cap signify to that?
I just learned that.
Let's just throw a random word at something and
in
make
the
a
last
new meaning
week.
to it.
I heard somebody say that and explain it as I'd never heard it before.
Yeah.
I was like,
I had not.
Feel kind of old on that one.
Welcome to the 21st century right there.
Yeah. No cap. So anyway, what are we talking about today? Talking about nonsense at the moment, but
pretty much.
The nonsense may continue. So, sports. sports topics, but how they relate to life.
I saw a great thing this week. This probably I don't know that I've ever witnessed in the regional, I guess the games to get to the Little League World Series, where the kid hit the batter in the head.
I saw that. Ooh, I saw that yesterday.
And then the pitcher was so distraught, the kid gets up at first base and like just goes and comforts the pitcher. I was like, that's a symbol that you don't see too often. You know, we see the guy get out of the batter box and go charge the pitcher. We don't see any compassion.
That kid was on the ground for a minute too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
he was.
Yeah, it hit him right in the ear hole.
Yeah.
But the pitcher came out. Did he left the game after that or no?
No, he stayed in.
He stayed there. He was just like
he was just shook up a little bit.
I was at a restaurant and they had that on, so I saw it, but I wasn't like I couldn't hear it or anything. But I thought he came out of the game right after that. But
it was I mean, again, that's just something you don't see, and then I don't know. I think we immediately think they're going to go into rage or anger, and you know, for the pitcher to be upset that he hit somebody that shows some vulnerability.
Yeah, I think team from here is in.
Is Tennessee still in it?
No, Nolensville,
nice,
which is a South Nashville neighborhood. They are on the way to Williamsport.
They are.
That's pretty cool
over here. But they've had a good team for a long time. Kind of comes down to them and one or two other teams every year, and they're making it happen. So go Nolensville.
That is something you don't see.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That's I saw that.
Pretty cool.
At Applebee's, how many Applebee's are there around anymore?
The one in Rivergate closed.
One in the city. I think
there was one in Springfield that closed. I think.
Is there still one in Lebanon or Donaldson?
Where's the one?
Where'd you go?
Oaks.
100 Oaks.
Yeah. 100 Oaks.
Huh.
It's been there. That one's been there a long time. Still going strong.
Like Applebee's.
It was good, and mine was great because I didn't have to pay for it. So
it's the best kind.
That's the only way to go.
Best kind.
That's right.
You go a lot of places if it's free.
Yeah. Sure would.
Agreed.
I mean, I'd try kangaroo burgers, ostrich burgers. I'd try a lot of stuff if it's free. It's so it's Stefano.
I would. I'll take a little
piece.
Cube.
Cube. He took a bite-sized piece.
Well, we were talking about sports, and so I did a little research and things that interest me. I guess this can be a debate or discussion. What do you think, like the worst contract across all the sports? What did you say it is?
I know one that annoys you.
I have one that comes up every year.
I know one that you don't like.
We know where this is going.
I didn't say me because you know what mine is. I mean, if I'm a Mets fan, everybody knows what mine is.
But the people don't know that you greatly dislike Bobby Bonilla Day.
Bobby Bonilla Day. Every day. It's just like a slap in the face of like poor management. But yes, that guy. So I had to do research because I want to know how bad the contract was. He was offered $5.9 million in 2000. 5.9 million. And they deferred that at 8% interest, and it ballooned into $29.8 million. So they pay him $1.1 million for 29 years on $5 million. Like,
so they have to pay him whatever that turns into, and not what they originally agreed on.
So he deferred it, and they let it because, and I quote, the Mets management thought they could make more money through Bernie Madoff managing their money than paying Bobby Bonilla 8%. How'd that work out for you?
And they're paying him
my
through
kind of contract.
35.
2035.
So I get to live this nightmare for another 13 years.
When did he retire? Like two. Did he
9?
play after that contract?
Let's see. Hang on. 2000?
I think it was around that time, wasn't it?
Yes, because that would have been his last year of that, first year of that deal. Great. We're only 22 years into it.
I want to be on that retirement plan right there.
I want to know if there's going to be like a ceremony when it finally is like the end of it.
Yeah, at my house. I'm going to cheer. You'll hear me yelling from the rooftop that the Mets are no longer paying Bobby Bonilla.
With Funyun chips, right?
With chips.
But he will have a smorgasbord of chips and some Funyuns. He'll have both.
Anything else come to mind for y'all?
The worst contract? I'm not someone who really follows a lot of contracts.
Like Ryan Tannehill? That one doesn't come to mind?
I don't know really
I wouldn't know what his contract is.
We're paying him $34 million. That's great.
Okay, but that's middle of the road probably for NFL quarterbacks.
I mean, that's cheap.
I mean, that puts him in the top 5 Annualized?
No.
Oh yeah. Oh
top
yeah.
5 in the league.
Percent
In the
of top
league.
5.
Yes.
Huh.
Hold on.
See, I thought
6.
if that was anywhere between
He is
10
number
and 15.
He is number 8 right now on $34 million cap hit. And the people ahead of him, I mean, you're talking Mahomes. You're talking, who's the quarterback for the Bills? Oh, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
He's ahead
Watson.
of them? He's ahead of them?
No, he's behind him. So Watson, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, and Aaron Rodgers. And then it's him.
Okay. But I would like to know, so since he's been in Tennessee, how many wins per year has he won? That would be a great, I guarantee you he's top 8 in the league in games won.
But did he win them?
He's a starting quarterback.
You could also say that he lost them every game in the playoffs.
Well, that's why they get all the credit and all the blame.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
34 million just seems kind of crazy for him, but right place, right time. Right place, right time.
Number 1 seed in the league or in the conference last year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can knock him on the playoff performance.
I mean, he finished 22-11 as far as touchdowns and interceptions. That's not top 8 money in my book, but part of it.
That's tough right there.
I mean that's Jalen Hurts numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. I don't know. It's a realization. Jalen Hurts will get probably $50 million if he goes 9-8 this season.
Because what choices do you have, right? I mean,
that or draft.
Yep.
Who's the guy from Ohio State or the guy from Alabama?
They got a receiver.
We already tried Russell Wilson, but he didn't want to come. He didn't want to come to Philly. He'd rather go to Denver. I hope they lose every game.
No animosity there.
Never liked Russell.
I don't know
Wilson,
many other contracts. I know A-Rod had a huge contract when
Allen
he signed
Houston
for
the Knicks back in the day.
That made my list.
Allen Houston had something similar to Bobby Bonilla, I believe.
So did Ichiro from Seattle.
Yes.
Did he really?
My
Ichiro's
also
getting
was
paid from Seattle.
Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert Arenas.
Good old 6-year, $111 million contract. And he brings a gun to the locker room.
Yeah.
Never plays again.
The NBA has a couple. Greg Oden. Like, how many games did he play?
Next to none.
He got. So if somebody's injured, do you blame that on them?
That is. I mean,
Like
John Wall got it.
John Wall's on here, 4/170.
He didn't play. He hadn't played in a year and a half, I don't think.
And he got every penny. I mean, he took a pay cut, a buyout from Houston, and he got the exact amount to sign with the Clippers. So it's like he didn't lose anything.
I mean, nobody's seen him touch basketball in a year and a half.
And that's why we have Zach as our numbers guy, because he can crunch them like nobody's business.
I threw a baseball one in here, 2 of them for you. One for your Yankees, Jacoby Ellsbury. That turned out to be a good one. 7 years, 153 after he win the World Series in Boston.
Yeah.
And then y'all signed him. Yeah. And then Albert Pujols, who might be 50, but he signed a 10-year, 240.
I wonder if he had to fake his birth certificate when he
for his age.
He started playing, so he could play.
Got to worry about those.
Not when you get to the pros. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter.
I don't know many contracts. Like, I don't keep up with that unless it's like Alex Rodriguez.
Was the first
his contract
was huge with Texas, right?
All over the. I mean, it was on nightly news, not just Sports Center and stuff, because of the.
That just tells you where we've come as far as sports money, right? I mean, we were talking a little bit last week about Wilt Chamberlain, and I think his biggest contract was $60,000. I mean, the minimums in all sports now are just crazy. It's crazy.
It's insane.
So an Alex Rodriguez at 250. I could probably name 10 NBA guys that are making 250 right now. That's just the norm now.
Yeah.
It's just different time.
Craziness.
It is. It's only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse. More TV money, more ad money. Just going to keep going up. That's why ticket prices continue to go up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and watching on TV is harder. Like all the different networks and like college sports leagues. College leagues have their own networks, and all the way that it's broken up, and Amazon is about to start carrying NFL games
Thursday night.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But it's not, because now you got to have a subscription to 10 different things to watch the games you want to watch. Like if you're trying to watch a lot of sports,
some company will come out. Well, maybe I don't need to say this. Some company will come out and be like, "We will house
Ron's
all
$1 million
of them,
ideas
all
about
of
to
them
just
into one network."
It looks like
and
he's
then
already been thinking about it.
boom, you pay one fee and you get all the networks coming into one. But
nobody can afford that. Nobody can afford that fee.
Yeah,
And that's
the problem.
it's just in my head.
That will stink. I thought about that Amazon. I mean,
everybody's going to be sharing their Prime membership so they can log on and watch.
Is it Amazon or Netflix that says we're about to cut that out?
That's Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch that anyways.
But which I mean, I understand why they want to do it. They're losing money.
Absolutely.
Right. But at the same time, if I log in at my house and then I go to Ryan's house in Kentucky and I log in from his house because I'm there watching a movie, like, how can you police that?
Right.
yeah.
Be the IP address, right? And
But that's why, like, if I'm
but
at
like
his
if you're
house,
there, right?
If I'm at his house watching a movie because I'm babysitting his,
well, that should be fine though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Netflix is going to say, well, you're at your house in Tennessee and you're at this house in Kentucky.
I think they're going to allow you to register devices.
I think they're saying if both IP addresses go off at the same time that are getting used with your account.
Okay.
So say you're at my house in Kentucky and you're using it and your wife's at home and she's watching something.
Somebody's not watching
it. It is the same account. It is the same people that are paying for it.
Yeah.
So
I'd heard they're going to do it by device. So like you can register 3 devices. Like you got a phone, you got a TV. That's it. You go to somebody's house, out of luck. Register it over there, and that's one of yours. So
yeah, that's hard. Well, for my family, there's 4 of us. So like if we all 4 wanted to have it on our phones, we'd be out of luck.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll say, hey, for a couple bucks extra.
Oh, they'll let you get more money.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You can get extra lines kind of thing.
Anyway, sorry, that was my topic. My only other one was the Live Golf League, but there might not be some golfers, so we may not want to talk about that.
Yeah, we went and played golf 2 weeks ago.
I know.
No, I thought
Best shot of my life.
Thought that Barkley was going over there.
I did too. I
don't know what did they offer him.
He's making 30 now at TNT, so I would.
He gave them a number.
Charles?
He said they had to double or triple whatever he made, but he didn't say what he made.
Yeah, it's
publicly.
30.
Publicly,
right.
Yeah.
I didn't. He's like, I'm not going to tell you, but y'all can find out.
Right.
But they had to double or triple, and he said, "I'll be there if you triple it or whatever it was." He said, "I'll be there." But then
that would have been a
up,
huge draw. I mean, that's like having like the Manning cast, right? I feel like with Barkley walking around the course, that you know,
that Manning cast.
But he gave him a deadline too, Charles did.
2 weeks.
It went on for a little bit, and then he was at some golf tournament up north or something, and he said, "When I leave here Thursday, if I haven't heard from you, then it's out. I'm done. I'm not going to drag this on forever," which is smart on his part.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
because he's got a good thing going.
Oh my word!
I mean, he's got the sweetest thing. I mean, that's the most popular, one of the most popular sports shows. I would say
for the NBA, 100%.
I mean, it crosses over like people that don't really care about watching basketball. They watch the show.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I tune in just see what the tie that the guy wears. Ernie.
Yeah.
Because him and like Shaq and Charles Barkley, like when they like they're just talking like they're hanging out.
Yeah,
that's what makes it good.
And Charles, how he gets on Shaq, I mean, it's a good concept. It's a very good concept. That Manning cast, I watch that. I mean, most of the time when it's on, I don't even watch like the regular Monday Night Football.
No.
I mean, I don't know who watches that.
It takes
it has to. I would love to see like
the comparisons of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it has to blow them away.
My get so for me, like a game I have no interest in, I'm going to watch the Manning cast,
right?
Because I'll catch a couple plays here and there if it's something, but like I'm there for their guest and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
but if it's like a Titans game, I'm going to want to watch the Titans game.
That's fair,
right?
That's fair. I mean, I tune in for like obviously they're expanding, right? They're calling in people. They've got guests. I mean, it's just growing.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and those two, I mean, what have they done? Like game shows together?
Yeah.
I mean,
anything they do is
and even Cooper
golden.
gets dragged in.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Well, I mean Cooper, he's funny.
They're entertaining in general. So,
but Cooper had a thing with the NFL or whoever it was. Like he had an intro show like before Sunday Night Football or something. Like he had like a. I can't remember the title of it, but he had a show too that showed on the networks. But anyway, I mean Cooper, he's big now because his son is
the real deal. Well, we'll see. We'll see if he's the real deal.
Supposedly,
yeah.
We'll see.
He got paid to go to Texas like he's the real deal.
He did. He did. He did.
Wish my kids could get something like that. Like,
good grief.
What NIL deal?
There's another topic, right? I mean, how you feel about that?
They're not there for education. When you're playing at that level, you're an athlete first. Whatever the schools want to sell, you're an athlete first at a top 5 conference.
I agree.
So, I mean, let them.
I think the parents will have a hard time, right? I mean, if somebody approached your son and said, we think he's good enough and, we're willing to pay him $1 million to come to school here. And if it pans out, great. He goes on the next level. If he doesn't, you got a good start in life. I don't know any other profession that if a CEO called me at high school and said, hey, Zach, I'm going to give you $1 million, and I turn it down or I take it, that it's frowned upon, right? It's like it should be on me. I don't know why we treat sports any differently. I mean, you could tell me that they get a free education, but I would argue that they put as much time in off the court or off the field and have to go to class, however we want to talk about class of what that is. Sometimes. That's right. But their time is worth something. They can't work. They don't have the time. And so, I'm all for it. If somebody's willing to pay you and they think you're worth X amount, go get it.
No, I think they should be able to get that money. But I think it could cause kids to stay in school longer.
100%.
Because they don't have that pressure of, I got to go make money for my family because we got nothing.
Prime example, the SEC Player of the Year at Kentucky, Oscar, I can't even pronounce his last name is. He was not even going to get drafted in the first round. His NIL money at Kentucky is $4 million. I'm not going to risk going to make 1 or 2 or undrafted and playing overseas. I'll come back to Kentucky and live it up.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the protections are. Like if a kid gets hurt in game number 1 or 2.
100% guaranteed. There's no pay for play. That's the big issue right now of hey, we offered you this, but you got to play 8 games in the bowl game. No. You either pay it to them or you don't.
So I'm totally fine with it. If that's how it is, yeah. Because what if a kid gets hurt in college and can never play again? Mm-hmm. He's got that nest egg.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, like we're talking about these high level guys that are getting these NIL deals, right? Like, hopefully they are pretty smart, and especially after they get hurt, they're like,
you think linemen are getting these deals?
No.
So that's what started this. So the Texas team, the same team that Arch went to, has promoted. If you're an offensive lineman, we'll pay you $50,000 a year. And it's like, you can't see any football player's face. If the offensive line for Vandy walked in here right now, we couldn't pick them out of a lineup. And so, like, the whole argument has been, what are they promoting for you that justifies that? And Texas A&M started all this mess of, well, hey, we'll get donors together and create this company, and then we'll funnel the money to the athletes, and there's nothing they can do about it. And so now, when I guess last year Texas A&M was the #1 recruiting class. Well, now guess what? Every school has copied that and say, you know what? We've all got big donors too. We'll create this fund or this company, and they'll promote the said company and do nothing. And it was supposed to help the little guys compete against the big ones, but now we're back in the same rat race of like the Texas, the USCs, the Miami. Yeah, we got donors. We'll figure it out.
That's the thing, that it just, the little schools don't have a chance.
I mean, there's some, I guess, with the Jacksonville State where Deion's at, he got one kid $1 million. Okay. He was a number 3 rated quarterback. Right. I get it. But I dare say there's probably more people that graduate with USC that has money that Jacksonville State will never see, right? Yeah. Or Texas with oil money, or, I just think it doesn't help the little guy anymore.
No, it does not.
You got to figure out a way to get those boosters.
Gotta have those graduates, right? Yeah. I don't understand how Vandy's not in the top. They got all kinds of money, right? Figure it out.
They don't care about
that. They don't care.
Nobody to support that. They have a lot of money, but they're not. They're not going to pour it there.
No. Well, I think it's an administrator. I think they have enough alumni or even people who just support them that didn't go to school there that would give money, but the administration, I don't think cares.
Doesn't prioritize it. No.
Or if there is someone there that cares about, like, it's like me and Funyuns. I'm like
bringing it full
we're
circle.
Against all odds right here in this moment. So I think they're outnumbered.
You're entitled to your opinion.
It's just wrong.
It's wrong. You're entitled to it.
Yeah.
My only other topic was mental health, like that I could, or injuries. I have both on here of just how do we feel about like today's sports? Mental health was not an issue when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And probably the one that I hear the most is probably Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody that's going to sit out a full year and fully commit to, I am not mentally right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
what's the girl in the Olympics?
oh yeah,
the gymnast.
the gymnast,
Simone Biles.
Simone Biles. Yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna. I'll just hold my comment.
No, let's get into it because I think mental health correlates directly with spiritual health.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I have zero problem with anybody getting mental help, right? Because if you're a big enough man or woman to admit it, like, dude, that takes more courage than almost anything else to say I'm not right with an injury that nobody can see, right? I have zero issue with that, and I do think it's a real thing. Like, people hit it better. Like when we were younger, right? You didn't talk about it, you just dealt with it like on your own.
But you can say the same thing with injuries, right? Like we didn't grow up knowing what concussions were, right? Yeah. Like, oh, I got a headache. You'll be fine if you walk it off, rub dirt on it.
You knew what a concussion was, but it had to be like super severe that it manifested other symptoms,
practically like knock you out.
A dude running into the other huddle,
or you just kept your mind like you're good.
Yeah.
But so like zero issues with anyone admitting mental health. Mm-hmm. I had an issue with Simone Biles in the moment. I don't know if I changed my opinion or not fully. She knew, like, she quit at the Olympics. You knew before you got there, like, why did you take a spot from somebody else? Like, there was somebody else that could have done that. You've already been there. Like, that was the issue I had with her of just don't even go. Let somebody else go because you knew. And maybe she was trying to tough it out and look, I'll just get through this. I don't know, obviously, but that was the only issue I had. Like, if you're struggling that bad. But it might have just been it got too much when I'm not an Olympic athlete, but you know the pressure and everything changes when you get there.
Right.
And maybe that was the breaking point. But that was the issue I had in the moment. But I could probably be persuaded to cut her some slack.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that of like us growing up, and then hopefully we have learned more about injuries and mental health and how we approach those differently. I mean, I can say the same thing about coaching, right? I mean, things that I was yelled and screamed at that we can't say on this air. And, you know, nowadays it's almost frowned upon, or you may get fired if I've got my phone out and can record it fast enough, right? Mm. And so it's just, I don't know. Those topics were interesting to me about, you know, how we grew up and difference now, and good or bad. I mean, I don't know. But I can just see that we've swung the pendulum the other way of like, I'm going to cave a little bit, you know, to how I used to coach these kids. And, you know.
We'll talk about the coaches in a second because there's a recent topic that just happened. But going back to mental health and spirit, like really it's sports and like how we are kind of trained to deal with that. It's the same way we apply to our spiritual life. Like, I'm just going to grind it out. I'm not going to ask for help. I don't want to seem weak, or I don't want to seem like I don't know something that other people around me already know. Like if you're playing in a sports team, you know, you're playing basketball and the coach is like, all right, everybody know this play. Everybody know what you're supposed to do. I am lost. But nobody else raised their hand. I ain't raising my hand. The coach is going to yell at me in a minute because I'm not in the right spot. I'm not doing the right thing. Like it meant spiritually, we do the same thing. It's like I have no idea what they're talking about, but everybody else is nodding their head. I'm not asking what they're talking about, but I'm getting nothing from this, or I'm not progressing in my spiritual life. But I don't want to seem weak and ask somebody for help or tell them I'm struggling or whatever the case is. But that person is struggling the same way you are. You just don't know it or realize it in the moment.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, like, I think society previously would have saw that as weakness, like, oh, you don't understand, or, oh, you know, that's just a cop out. But today, I think we're more accepting of people and showing the vulnerability of, you know, not being okay mentally. And So I think we're going in the right direction. It's like anything. I feel like somebody's going to abuse that, right?
Correct.
I mean,
That's
you bring up Simone, and then I bring up Ben Simmons, right? I think, okay, Ben probably said, you know what, I don't have to play. I got a guaranteed contract, and you can take it to the NBAPA, and guess what? They're going to side with the player every time. And so, what do you want me to go out there and do? Throw the ball in the stands every time? I mean, I just feel like that situation was different, but I guess like anything in life, though, people are going to take advantage.
He's holding in a lot of words over here.
Well, no. I agree completely. I know it's an issue, but I know people kind of take advantage of that, abuse it. In your example with Ben Simmons, I mean, and I don't know what's going on in his head, but it seems like to me, if I'm struggling with something, like, I mean, for those of you who don't know Ben Simmons, he plays for he's on the Brooklyn Nets team. He doesn't play for them, I guess. But he was showing up to the games in like outfits that probably cost more than my house, chains and everything. So like flashy colors. I mean, their colors are like black and white, and he shows up on the bench like in a bright orange suit. So he's trying to draw obviously attention to him instead of on the team. I mean, I know he could find a Brooklyn Nets pullover to wear on the sidelines when he's watching. So I know that's just a small thing, but I mean, if I'm struggling going through something,
you probably don't want attention.
I'm going to bring attention to myself sitting on the bench as opposed to the team that's out there playing, trying to win games.
Well,
that's the beef that I have.
Why would they even let him be there? I mean, like,
I don't know if they can keep him from me. Like, I don't know what those rules are.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the rules are either. But I mean, you can't.
It's kind of like
I would think I don't even want you on my bench. Like,
so it's kind of like a catch. I mean, because he wants to support the team.
That's right.
So you can't.
So if you don't show up, they can fine him.
Right.
If he's there, you got to pay him. And so it's like this fine line of like you're sending him home. It goes back to John Wall, right? Like we're going to pay you, but we don't want you around. So we're just going to give you your $40 million and just stick it out. We'll find a trade. If not, you'll get your money.
Plus, it wasn't like it came out late that he has mental issues or anything like that. It's like after there were signs of him being traded, but then he comes back to almost like a cop out, which is like terrible for somebody that's really struggling with that.
When he went through when we demanded the trade in Philadelphia, he come out and said, "It's not about the money. I'll sit out all year long." The day he gets traded to the Nets, he files a grievance against the Sixers to recoup the money they had fined him because it's supposed to be a guaranteed contract. I'm like, it's 100% about the money. Like, you ain't walking away from $22 million. And that shows it. And for that one, I've lost respect for.
Yes, for sure. For sure. There's questionable. Yeah. I just feel like you don't act that way if there's something really going on.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you want is.
But that's the tricky part. Like, you can't. If I think you're faking, and it's obvious to everybody that you're faking, right? But if you call that person out, you're the villain.
Exactly.
Because there's like the flip side is you can't hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Which is, that's what makes it difficult.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Y'all heard about the Oklahoma assistant coach that resigned?
Yeah. For
Have
taking.
I
saw that he is it.
So here, I first
is it Gundy?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, but it's a brother. It's not the head.
It's
coach.
not the head coach.
It's not the Oklahoma State. Okay,
no.
So I saw the name Gundy, and I was like, "Why are they saying Oklahoma?"
Yeah,
but I didn't. Okay,
it's his brother.
It's his brother who's at Oklahoma.
Yes, and he was.
Is he a defensive line coach?
He was an assistant coach of something, like a position coach. The article I read, the way they presented it at first, I was like, I wouldn't have done what he did. Because here's what the article said. He was in a meeting. I think it was just with his position, whatever he was coaching.
Yeah.
And he was going through something on the board. A player wasn't paying attention. He walked over, and they had an iPad or a telephone. So he walked over and took the player's iPad, and the dude was taking notes or whatever, and he read out loud what the player had written, goofing off.
Okay.
He said the word. He read what the kid was typing. He just read it word for word.
Several times.
But So he just read what this kid said, had the N word in it.
Gotcha.
And then, made that, use that as an example to the team. Y'all need to be paying attention.
Oh, so.
I was like, I wouldn't have resigned for that. If I just read it,
right,
I wouldn't have resigned. Then later it said, no, he said it multiple, he kept saying that over and over,
But he was just reading what the guy.
But they said if he just read it once, I think he'd have been fine. But he, multiple times was saying it over and over and over. And, it's you went a little far there. In today, you can't do that.
In today's world.
In today,
right? I would say us growing up,
right.
Nothing would have been said, nothing been done.
Right.
No, but
it's just a different.
But he's got if he just read it, I understand he was just reading it, and I would have no issue with that, right? Of course, I'm white, so it doesn't really
Right.
I'm with you,
but I would have,
and so is he,
because
So the coach is white.
Yeah,
I assume the player is black.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's in a room.
But what I'm saying, if I was just reading word for word what that kid typed out, and I had I was just reading fast, and my speech was faster than my brain in that moment, and I would really have no issue with someone doing that if they were reading word for word, and he didn't add anything of his own. But I mean, they went on to say it was they made it seem like it was 10 times or more that he was going crazy. He's like, you got to be smart. I mean, he's I don't know how old, 50-something years old.
He said he'd been in Oklahoma 12 years. So I mean, he's not.
Wow.
He's been around.
He's
been in sports his whole life. He's got to know better than.
Yeah.
So was it other students or other athletes that were contesting to what he said? I guess basically
he resigned.
Yeah, he came out and got out in front of it.
But you're saying he said it multiple
he
times.
Admitted
so I'm wondering.
But he admitted
that he did that.
He admitted that he did. That's why, he took full ownership of it.
Okay.
But when, at first they made it seem like he just said it once, and I was like, I wouldn't have resigned for that. But then he's like, well, yeah, it wasn't just once.
And sometimes as well, these days, and I'll say this, that can sometimes be used as a cop-out.
Yep.
These days. Certain situations. And I'm
right.
saying this
obviously.
As myself.
For those of you who are not watching on YouTube,
that
Stefano is black.
I am. So, but I feel like in some situations that can get kind of misconstrued, and somebody can get just jumped for something that can't. And I know that there's other instances where there is bad involved in it, bad intentions and everything like that. But sometimes that can not be as bad as.
No, it's the same thing as the mental health side.
Correct.
You can't police if you try and police any one situation. You're the bad guy, whether you are in the right or the wrong.
Yeah. So
we've talked for 6 months about, or maybe long, I don't know, a long time about having a race episode. We just don't know how to do it yet. So
we'll
you can see we still don't know how to do it. So
there we go.
Yeah. Preview. Call in. Let us
topic.
know. Let us know. Yeah,
since it's a tough one.
I don't think
that
we are not sensitive with each other, but it's how do you portray that in a conversation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Being sensitive to everybody else.
Right.
You probably don't want to have a live call-in show for that. And if you do, it's Ryan's phone number.
No. Well, if it's my phone number, it's while I'm not here.
Well, that would be terrible. That would be the terrible day. I'm calling in today live, and it's like, whoo.
Oh, boy.
Called in on the wrong episode. That was not good.
Bad connection. Bad connection.
Yeah.
It's a storm. It's a storm out.
My phone went out.
All right. So I got a complete random trivia question for y'all, okay?
Okay.
Trivia.
That's good.
Hey.
I don't know if we have enough time, but I got another heavy one I might throw out.
Okay.
So it's Michael Jordan topic, okay? Two-parter. How many numbers on his jersey, how many jerseys has he had with a different number in his career? And what are those numbers?
Okay, well,
college and pro?
Hold on. What are we talking
college
about?
And
you
pro.
got to define here.
Are you talking high school?
I think it's college and pro.
College and pro?
Yep. How many different types of...
Did he have that number? Did he have 23 the whole time in college?
North Carolina.
It's new equipment, Zach. Tear it up. Don't worry.
I believe so. I'm going yes. I'm going yes.
So how many numbers has he had, And what are those numbers?
Okay,
Yeah.
do you count?
Yeah,
well,
'cause he was
baseball,
only-
he
he
was
was only there
45
for 2
only.
Are
Right?
you count baseball?
Well,
Technically, that number for baseball was used in
He's
baseball
45.
and
It's
and
45,
in basketball.
23,
Was he
and then whatever one he tore his jersey and played in. I'm going 3.
Okay.
I do think Zach there was something.
There was
but
So we're going 3.
if he wore 45 in baseball the whole
He wore
time,
40. He wore 45 in basketball and baseball.
Yes, he did.
I'm
At
getting there,
23.
dude.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
getting-
My
like,
bad. My bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
He was 23 all the time in North Carolina.
yeah. So if he was 23 all the time in North Carolina, 45 all the time in baseball,
Did he wear
it's
like
just
12?
But there,
I
well,
think there
the
was
Olympics, he didn't wear. He wore
9.
9 in the
Are
Olympics.
you talking about the Olympics too?
Ah,
He
there
wore
it is.
9 in the Olympics.
So is there 4?
There's 4.
Because
There's
there is
Yeah.
one where he tore a
So
jersey.
you got 23.
Yeah.
You got 45 from baseball, and when he came back from baseball, he wore 45 for like I don't know what it was like,
Couple
like
games.
couple
until
games,
somebody
and then
called
switched
him
it
out.
back.
It was like 45 ain't 23.
Yeah.
Who was that? Somebody called him out in the playoffs, and he switched jerseys in the middle of a playoff series.
There was
Oh,
a
it was
game.
Orlando.
There was a game against
think-
Orlando on Valentine's Day that someone stole his jersey, and the only jersey that he could wear was number 12, and it didn't even have his name on it. So 23, 45, 12,
9.
and then 9 in the Olympics.
Olympics
The,
got me.
I
I
think
forgot about the Olympics.
there's
Yeah.
a 30 for
I thought
30.
the Olympics would throw y'all off.
30 for 30 on Orlando, like when Shaq and Penny Hardaway were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I think they talk about that jersey stealing in
Yeah.
that episode. That's a good episode.
That's like,
Yeah.
Nice job, Ryan.
There you go.
Well
that
done,
was-
Ryan.
there you go.
Well
Took a
done.
group effort over here.
Yeah.
Well done. Well
Yeah.
done.
Olympics.
Forgot
The
about that rib. That's good. That's good, Zach.
Yep.
Forgot about the jersey.
I wouldn't have thought about the Olympics.
Yeah.
But that was who called him out? I thought it was like the Pacers or somebody called him out.
I think it might have been that series that Orlando when he came back and they beat them.
Or was that when Horace Grant was playing for Orlando?
Mr. Goggles.
When they came back and
Because
beat them.
somebody said, I don't
It
think
might
it
have
was
been-
Horace Grant.
It might have been like Nick Anderson or somebody like. I don't think it was Penny or Shaq, or it might have been. I don't think it
No,
was Penny or
that wasn't
Shaq.
close. That was before he retired, I think. with
Scott
Penny and
Skiles.
Shaq. Somebody called him out and said 45 doesn't play like 23. And then
Poking the bear.
23 showed up the next game. So
That's a nice one, Ryan.
Do you know how he came up with the number 23 to wear it?
I think I heard something a long time ago.
I don't know the exact details,
do
but I
not.
know somewhat of it. So apparently his brother wore 45.
And he was half
and,
as good as his
and,
brother.
and he said he was half. They always said he was half as good as his brother, so he wore 23.
Rounded up, huh?
Because it's 22 points.
Yeah, I've
So,
heard that. I
okay.
don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard.
Yeah.
Fauna, any Wilt knowledge over there? We were talking about that last week.
That's a lot of notes.
I went
you
to
have.
I just going through because I had two things on here, and I had Tim Tebow on here because he came to my mind because
Yeah.
just as far as from like a spirituality
Right.
kind of.
I mean, if
we
you just
can we can
ask.
tackle Tebow. Like when you say Tim Tebow, what do people are always
divisive.
like, oh, I mean, there are several quarterbacks currently playing that have either identical stats to him, have been given a chance. So I just if Tim Tebow was not Tim Tebow, would he still like be in the league?
I think
Is that the
he
reason
might-
why? Is that the sole reason why? I mean, and I know he wasn't. I mean, he's not. He's not Tom Brady or wasn't Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or anything. But I just wonder if he didn't ever express his faith.
I mean, I think he would at least be a backup,
Right.
or he. I mean, I don't know. He might have retired by now, because that was really a long time. And when did he play? Like
Did he start out with the Jets when he got drafted or no?
Denver.
He was
Denver.
Denver. That's right. Okay.
he got traded.
Yeah.
Denver.
And I see both sides, right? I see
Right.
like if you speak out about things that I view are good and things I view are bad, defunding
Right.
the police, whatever,
Right.
you find your way out of the league pretty quickly.
You do.
I mean, and
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Kaepernick or I don't care if you're Tebow, but yet we praise things that. I mean, I think about Zach Wilson right now for the Jets, and we're praising him about like the craziness he's doing with older women.
Yes.
But yet Tebow
Yeah.
gets basically, he's kneeling, and we're going to mock that, and then
Right.
Kaepernick kneels, we're going to mock that, and guess what? You're both out of jobs. I mean,
Right.
But
I don't-
Tebow, I don't know. Like he was mocked for a little bit, but it was socially acceptable because people like it was a craze. I'm Tebowing.
But
Like,
that
people
but-
did it everywhere.
But was that mocking him or was that praising him. That's the.
I mean, I think it depended on the person who was doing it.
Right.
Like it started out as, that's cool, but then, like everything else, once it gets to a certain cool level, everybody wants to tear it down.
Right.
So they're going to mock it and do that.
Yeah.
But I do think it was because he was so overt with his faith. That's not a public sentiment, but like,
no,
it's a sinful world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, nah, I can't get down with that. And not only because he was public, but because he was like stuck to it.
Adamant.
Right.
Because there are a lot of Christian athletes out there.
Right.
But they don't promote it and live it like he did.
Right.
And so, I think about Carson Wentz. I think about Matt Ryan. Or, there's a lot of guys out there, they pray after the game.
Right.
But they don't take it to the level he takes it to.
Right.
And I don't... Good or bad, I mean, I'm happy that he does it. Like he's got a stage, he's got the lights on,
exactly.
And if it's okay to tout other things, why in the world isn't okay to tout, his beliefs? Right? He's not. I don't know. We can talk about that a lot, but
that
just came to mind. I mean, whenever we thought of this episode, I just thought about him, just his short stint.
Yeah. Well, and NFL. People don't like left-handed quarterbacks because they makes everything backwards for them, all this kind of stuff. So, like, that's a knock against you right off the bat.
Doesn't make sense.
And then think about, it's not like he's off that stage, right? I mean, the SEC Network picked him up. Right.
Yeah.
He still gets
at the baseball stint.
Good old Mets. Coming back to that.
Sorry,
that's so funny.
Well, but I mean.
But I think they picked everything at left-handed, this and that, throw in motion, all this other stuff. Like, they didn't like the way he lived out his faith, so they used all these other things to like, all right, well, this is why we're kicking him out. Not because of that. It's because of this stuff. Or not give him a chance that they might have given somebody else.
Well, I think about like all the flack that Urban got for bringing him in to like just a tryout for a tight end, right? I mean, you can't tell me. I feel like he's an athlete, right? He doesn't have to throw the ball, but I'm sure he could do something.
Yeah.
But then
he wasn't a great tight end though. Like you see videos of him missing these blocks and stuff. Like, but I mean, in training camp, give him a shot. I mean, they give tons of people shots.
But like that made like ESPN's headline, right? Like Tim Tebow's getting a shot at being a tight end because his former coach, And I'm like, does it deserve all that?
Well, but I mean, the NFL may be the worst of. It's who you know. That's why you have the same coaches get recycled everywhere because it's
good old boy.
You know. Yeah,
different trees. That's trees and everything.
Well, I think we're about out of time for this one. This was testing new equipment day. Great time for us to have a little sports talk. But I mean, it's kind of hard to relate this back to spiritual things. But really, one of the underlying things is where you place your time, where you invest your time. That's where you're going to see fruit or see lack of fruit in other areas. So we all love sports here, but it has to be a balance, and you have to live it out, like your Christian values. You have to live those out and not compromise. Tim Tebow's a great example of I'm going to try my absolute best, but I'm not going to compromise on anything else. So you can love sports, you can love whatever extracurricular activities you enjoy, but God should be at the center of that and should not come above. Those other things should not come above God. So,
I think the way he lives it out is just incredible. That it should be a testament to our walk, right? Of you know what, I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose my dream of playing in the NFL. I'm going to do all these things because none of that matters. None of that matters. I mean, and his story for. Somebody ought to go look it up of like, he's not even supposed to be here, right? I mean, his mom tried to abort him and it just, it's a God thing that he's even here to live that story out. So
absolutely.
So
lots of future topics going on. I didn't even get to my other heavy hitter, but
give a teaser. What is it?
I got Bill Russell too.
No, I think we got another episode. We got plenty of episodes left. We're gonna roll some of this stuff over. We'll do sports part 2. So
a cliffhanger over here.
There you go.
I got still
cliffhangers all around.
So. Yep.
I'm gonna have to ask you off air. This is gonna kill me. I'm like Amanda Mundy over here.
We're gonna stand in the lobby and talk about this one for about 20 minutes at least. Hey, now that we have a website, this kind of stuff, this is what you can bump your subscription level up and catch these. The off-air conversations are much better than what gets recorded and released.
Hands down, 100%.
So,
yes.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that. GPSToGod.com and sign up. And
Before you go,
no, you go ahead.
I just got a question for Fano because he coaches.
Bring
right?
it. Bring it on.
Do you see in today's youth? Do you see people? Obviously in basketball they're not wearing like liner or whatever that says 316 on it. But like, I mean, do people show their faith or wear, what would Jesus do bracelets or, is there anything like that in today's age, I guess?
I mean, probably not as much as it was. I mean, you'll get, players write some verses on their shoes still and everything, but it's just not
as prevalent.
It's not what they see a lot of, because this day and age, it's all about the highlight. It's all about ESPN. It's all about, I mean, you see it.
I just didn't know, like, if we thought, like, us growing up and, like, Tebow being the example of, like, what he did, did you see that in today's group or no?
It's not as much. I mean, we try to pour it into them. I mean, we pray after every practice, but I know some schools can't.
Some schools can't do that. That's a topic, right?
So
of like,
some schools can't. Some schools can't do that. So, but it's not as much, as it was, because I think it's just.
That's one of those soft topics, right? Like,
more,
I don't want to get in trouble for that.
It is. It is.
Well, name somebody else other than Tebow that lives it out the way he did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he's a once in a lifetime kind of example.
And like you said, there's people there's plenty of Christians that are in the league and everything like that, but there's nobody's
to that extent. No.
Nobody's hitting a grand slam and going over and kneeling down and praying.
Because some of them try to be regular people, like go home and go to their family. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to hear anything about them.
I think that's what's hard too, because you watch the draft or you watch somebody after catching a winning touchdown or hitting a home run, and you will see. I'm going to say a majority of the time, I want to give credit to my Lord Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And then
everybody will clap.
You'll see like a tattoo or something. You'll see them wearing a cross, and then you'll see them on Instagram at the club late at night doing whatever, right? And so I don't think people live it out. I think it's almost like one of those things. I'm supposed to say this. I'm supposed to do this, but I think Tebow truly lives it out. In every aspect,
for sure.
Yeah. All right, today we're going to send you home with 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24, starting in verse 24. It'll be more than that. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. That's a big one, self-control in all things. That's a topic in itself. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. So he talked about under control a couple of different times. Must be pretty important. So great way to end this one off here. We hope you enjoyed it. So glad that you listened, and we'll catch you again next week. See ya.
Good stuff.
Nice.
And it was self-control. You didn't even get to yell about Bobby Knight throwing a chair. Can you imagine what would happen nowadays?
Thanks for listening to GPS to God. Make sure you leave a rating or review on whichever app you happen to use. Also find us on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to our channel.